Well, good morning, everyone. It's Sunday, and what a challenging week this has been. Oh my goodness. I have some good and I have some bad. And I don't know, should we start with the good or start with the bad? I think I want to start with the good. The bad I kind of touched on a little bit in Friday's live, but I didn't say what it was because you have to see it to understand it. So we're going to do the good first. So, what did I do? I was in the mood to make a turtle, but I wanted a bigger turtle than Myrtle the turtle. And I don't know why. I thought that, oh my gosh, I can't think of her name again. All she does is make turtle patterns. And I had bought one from her, like back when I first started buying the plushie patterns. And it was for a sunflower turtle. But I thought I can do that turtle and get a bigger turtle. But when I got to the head part, I'm like, this is so different from all the other turtles. And then I looked at the picture. I'm like, ooh, I don't like how that's sewn on. So I moved away from that and pulled out all from Jade's turtle pattern. And even using the heavier yarn, it's just not as big as I wanted it. And I don't have any 7-weight, but it still turned out cute. So I got to use my Mystical in whatever the pink shade is. And then I paired it with the, I had a little scrap ball of the agave in Home Slim. And of course I use these kind of flippers on it. The other feet are like weird. So I always change the flippers on this pattern. But we got to make a turtle, and turtles are always a fun make. So I have that. I do like working with the Mystical yarn. It's very soft. Easy on the hands. It just, one other time I did, the only time that I've worked with 7-weight yarn, I did a big jumbo turtle and it turned out huge. And that's what I had in mind. And I used that pattern, but I didn't have any 7-weight yarn. So I don't want to make another yarn order, because I already have a big order coming in. For those of you who have not heard, Premier, their Chenille Brights, 26 new colors. And I placed an order. I didn't order all the colors. I didn't do that. I wouldn't have anywhere to put them. As it is, I might not have anywhere to put the stuff that's coming in. So they were making it available at noon on Friday, last Friday. So Friday morning, I took that time to organize what I have of the Chenille Bright so I can see what I have and order the colors, the existing colors that I already needed in the same order, and take advantage of the free shipping. So of the colors that I already had, I needed 4 colors, 2 that I was completely out of and 2 that I was like into the last skein. So I had to get more of that. Then I kept checking and checking and checking, and I was chatting with Lorraine on Instagram, and I'm like, I can't find it on their website. And she's like, not till noon. I'm like, oh no. So I just had the page there, and I just refreshed the page. So I got in early, and then at one point they were showing like 3 colors were out of stock, but then later in the day they were back in and only 1 was out of stock. So I'm getting the new colors, some of them. But they have variegateds and solids. The only thing that I need a light purple. Like, I don't know, a shade like this. I need a light purple. They have periwinkle, but it looks blue. And then they had like a dusty kind of purple, and it looks not right. But I ordered 1 in 1 just so I can see them and see if it is what I'm looking for. But I doubt it. Anyway, so I did that. We made a turtle. And then my Joann's orders started showing up. I mentioned that in Friday's live too, that I placed an order for chicken colors, you know, bird colors, the neutrals. And, well, kind of neutrals. But not necessarily all solids. Some are variegated, some are what they call dappled, and, you know, just different things. So they shipped my order in 3 separate shipments, and I've got 2 of them. So I had a few colors to choose from to make a chicken. So I made myself another big chicken. Now this little girl did not turn out as big as the first one, because the first one I used big twist plush. So it was much bigger, but this is still like life-size chicken. And this is the Bernat dappled, I can't reach it, one of the new colors I just got in. So it started off with the dark, then it changed to the gray, and it was the, you know, like medium gray. And then it was still going to be in that medium gray color for the wings, so I went ahead and pulled from the outside of the skein or cake instead of the inside, so I can get the lighter gray to have all the shades on it. I'm just picking fluff off because, you know what? When you get in the right lighting, you can really see the little fluff. Like if you have the polyfill sitting on your table or wherever, and your yarn just happens to brush against it while you're crocheting with it, you will have little pieces of fluff everywhere. But this is the pattern that I can't tell you where I got it, because the pattern was stolen, and I am not sure who the original designer is, so I won't put a link for this. All I can say is it's on Etsy, and you'll know it when you see it. So we have the big chicken and a turtle. Then I decided I needed something fun. I'm not showing these in any particular order that they were made, because there are 2 of them that each ate up an entire day for me. But after dealing with those frustrating ones, you want to do something quick and fun. So Tracy from Travel Crochet asked me to test her Bob the Big Booty Frog, I think it's called. It's a free pattern on Instagram, and she does have it. It's up. So I made a few of these, and this is a green color from Bernat that is definitely old formula. And these are small enough that to work with that yarn, I can make one and then walk away and not kill my hands. So we have 3 bobs. 3 bobs, and they definitely, the booty shows up much better in a solid color than variegated. So we have those. And then I was watching What's Up Cupcake, and she was showing the different things that she made. Like, it was almost 100 plushies in a week. Y'all thought I made a lot. This girl makes a lot. Now, it's not typical. She's just cramming for a really big event that she has coming up. But she made a lot. So in that, she was showing her Junimo, the little apples from Stardew Valley. Because I guess the thing she's going to has, it's like a gamer thing. And I liked the size of hers. Well, then she listed all her patterns, and it led to Instagram to a free pattern, which you couldn't see, it was blurred out. So that led you back to YouTube to Crochet by Lechen, Lechen, for a tutorial. And it's a German name, so I don't know. I probably totally butchered it. So I'm watching, while I'm making my chicken, I'm kind of listening and taking notes on her Junimo. So there were a few things that I didn't like how she did, so I made changes. When she does, okay, this is one that was kind of her way. When she does the arms and the legs, she just chains 3, and then she ends it off. And then I have to fiddle with it and, you know, pull the fluff off and tie the knot, which is totally doable if that's what you like. When she does the little stem, she uses wire. I tried doing the wire. I couldn't do the wire, so I said nope. And then I'm like, you know what? I bet the way All From Jade does the spider legs on her Sabrina spider, just shorter, but there's like a nice firmness to it, would help it stand up. So that's what I did for the stem. It worked fine for me. And then watching those two videos between What's Up Cupcake and this tutorial, the leaves are supposed to be the same color as the apple, and I did not know that. But these are a nice little size, and this is in the Chenille Brights. So if they were parfait chunky, perfect for a swing. Perfect for a swing. So I decided I'm not real thrilled with the little arms and legs, so I changed it. They're a little sturdier, a little bit thicker. So what I did with these is I chained 4 and then slip stitched back for 3 slip stitch. And then when I got the apple part made and put the eyes in, so I had something to use as a gauge, I just tied them in place. Poked it through one side of a stitch and then tied a knot real tight. And put those on. And again, I used All From Jade's spider leg method. So that's like however long you want your stem. You make your chain, single crochet back, 2 rows of single crochet with a slip stitch at the beginning of each of those rows. And then I attached to my leaf, did a slip stitch to attach the leaf, and then you fold it over and you slip stitch back down, and it gives it a little bit of firmness so that it holds up. And like I did 6mm with this, and this is Parfait Chunky. I went down to a 5. I might go down to a 4.5 to see if I can get it just a little bit thinner, but I think it worked out well. So I'd have blue, pink, yellow, and green, and every leaf is different because why not? I couldn't remember what I did from one leaf to the next. Now, if I sat there and made them all the leaves in a row, then maybe I would remember. But, oh well, they're just different. They're unique. So, pink, blue, yellow, green, red, and then see something. But they're great. Now these I used little 10mm eyes on, and because the yarn is thicker, so when I went to stick the eye through, I put glue, and then when I went to put the back on, I used some more glue to hopefully keep them in place, because one of them I was making Was it one of these? Let me look at them. It was something. No, it was the chicken. When I was making it and then stuffing it, and then all of a sudden I'm like, why does this eye feel weird? And the whole eye and the back and everything was coming out. So they have glue, those small eyes on this thicker yarn, because it doesn't have a really big back or base to the eye. I had to add some glue just to make me feel better. So we made 6 little Junimo apples. And that was a free pattern. I just had to like modify it to make it work for me. So we have 2 more good ones that weren't frustrating. 2 more good ones that weren't frustrating. So this one is Katie, the Celestial Homebody. It's her first pattern that she's written. And it's like a loaf unicorn. I sewed my nose on crooked. And let's see, I used brights for the body. So I kind of thought it would be a little bit bigger with the brights. This would be teeny tiny with the Parfait Chunky. And then Parfait Chunky is the horn. Bloom is the mane and the tail. And regular Parfait Chunky in one of the pinks for the muzzle. And of course, like I said, I sewed it on wrong. But I think I need to go down in hook size to get it a little bit smaller. But yeah, you can really see my eyes are crooked. Or not the eyes, the muzzle. The muzzle makes the eyes look crooked. But this is, I think, a really easy, quick, fairly quick pattern. The only thing you are sewing on is the muzzle. These you just slip stitch, make your chain, and then do your little curly Q down. Same way with the tail. I just couldn't decide what color I wanted to use, so I picked the Bloom because it had a little bit of greens and darker pinks in it to give it a little more color. I think next time when I make it, I will size down the hook for the muzzle and use a slightly bigger eye, maybe. I don't know. Some little girl will love this, even though it looks like it has crooked eyes. But it was fun. Very quick. Like the ears are crocheted on. I know she was talking about something about like you could do that while you're in the round. I kind of liked it when you crochet in the horn, but then you go back and you do this, and she tells you go 1 stitch away from the horn. So you have more control of getting it even, if that makes any sense. So I kind of liked it being an after the fact, and it was very simple to do. So I will definitely be making some more of these. A couple more to start with and see how they do. And 'cause I don't have any unicorns. I sold my last unicorn. So I have to make, well, I have a really big unicorn. I guess I could take that one. But I want some smaller ones because this time of year, the smaller items seem to be moving much quicker. So then I had one other really cool one that I thought was fun. Now, it took me a little bit of time to make it because it was a lot of parts. And it does have a lot of sewing. Now, getting the body done was very fast. It was all the other things that have to go on to it that took a little bit of time. But it's so cool. So cool. And this one is by That Nerdy Hooker, the same person that made Ketchup here. Didn't she look good sitting on the shelf? Change of scenery. Yeah, so here we go. This is Pochita, if I'm saying it right, from Chainsaw Man. I didn't have the right size eyes, so I had to play a little trick to give the illusion that they were the right size. So I think it said 24 millimeter eyes. I don't have 24 millimeter eyes. So I made a circle with my black felt. And if you look close, you can see it. Put it behind the black eye. And then did a circle on the white with the felt, instead of having to sit there and stitch around the eye. I just thought it would look cooler. So I did make that little change. It's a cool pattern, but like I said, there's a lot of sewing. So you make like the loaf with the legs, and then you have to make and sew on the tail. And then the little pull thing for the chainsaw gets attached to the end of the tail. And then each of these handles, it's like, this is a piece, this is a piece, this is a piece. And then you have to sew them together and then sew them on. Same way for the back. The little muzzle, you make that separate, you sew it on, but that's a piece of cake. The saw part of it is two sides crocheted together. Very easy, and then you sew it on. I mean, none of it's hard. It's just there's a lot of pieces and a lot of sewing. But he looks cool as hell. He looks really cool. I like him. I might have to make some more of him. Then, now it's time for the bad. And oh my gosh, it's not that it's a bad pattern. I was just expecting a plushie, not a lovey or a snuggler or whatever you want to call those things. I was expecting a plushie. It did not say in the listing that this was a lovey, and it was the first time that I was buying from this designer. And unfortunately, she was running a really good sale. I bought 8 patterns, and I have now tried 2, and I'm not happy at all. Because 6 of them are snugglers, and I did not want snugglers. I wanted plushies. And 2 of them, I've only tried 1 of the 2 that aren't. Took me all day. So we'll start with the first one. This one, it's cute, but not what I expected. Okay, so if you want a lovey, it's an awesome pattern. So this would be Leafeon. Now, the way the pictures are taken and the way they're holding them, it's kind of, it's hard to explain. It's kind of like this, so you can't really get a good look at the body. So you can't tell from the photos that it's a lovey. Now, after I had made the head and the arms and the legs and no, not the ears yet. So you just started with the head, the arms, the legs, and you make the body. And when I got to the body is when I'm like, wait a minute. Is this a lovey? I don't want a lovey. I want a plushie. But because of the arms and the legs are made so oddly and attached so oddly, I was like, well, let me just do it. Let me finish it. Let me follow the pattern. And then it'll give me a chance to like look at it in person and figure out how I'm going to tweak it to make this a plushie. I want a plushie, not a lovey. So I think the ears need to come up higher so that they stand up instead of winging out like that. So some of the instructions, I don't know. I was just really bummed that this was a lovey. And I have 5 more. But if I can figure out on this one how to do the body and attach the legs, I can do it on all of them. And then if I want to make it as a lovey, it can be a lovey. But I wanted a plushie. So there is this one. And it is by Pebbles Crochet. So just know, they are loveys. They are not plushies. So the next one that I did was also by Pebbles Crochet. And I had been looking at different patterns, quite a few different patterns for this character. And because she had them on sale, and I just happened to see it along with these loveys that are not plushies, I went ahead and purchased this pattern. Now the Leafeon took me an entire day to do. This next one took me a whole day plus the next morning. And it's still not 100% because I need my stiff pink felt, which is on order, and I think it said it's coming Wednesday. Then I'll be able to finish it. And it's just little minor things. It needs one little thing on the head and a little pink nose. And then it'll be finished. But I had to make so many tweaks to this to get it to work. This is Chromie, if I'm saying it right. You make the head first, then you make the hood. So I made the head and I made the hood, and I went to put the head into the hood to sew the hood on, and the hood completely swallowed the entire head. So I had to frog it out, make less stitches, like didn't have as many increase rounds, and reduce the amount of rounds to get it to go on the head and still have something for a face. So then I go to the body and I make the body. Let's see. Well, I frogged that out as well because it would have been like this giant head sitting on top of something like this. It was just so small. So the body I had to make bigger, which in turn meant let me add an extra round to each leg and an extra round to each arm. This scarf, I guess you'd call it. This thing's heavy. Each one of these pieces are made separate, and then each one of these are separate, and you have to sew them on, and then you have to crochet all these together, and then the tail, the ears. Fortunately, I didn't have to adjust the ears, but the problem got amplified, I guess you would say, when it came time for assembly, because it was so vague and absolutely no pictures. And it says that it's an intermediate pattern. You still need to be a little specific about things. Like it says, attach the felt features to the face. Where? What round should the eyes be on? How far apart should they be? Where does the nose and mouth go? I don't know. Sew the ears 4 stitches apart on the head. But where on the head? What rounds? Where do I start? Do they come forward? Do they go back? You had a main picture, and pretty much that was it. There weren't any, nothing for assembly, nothing. sew the head to the body, sew the arms to the body, sew the legs to the body. But it doesn't say where. Like, what rounds should I be attaching the arms? What rounds should the legs be on? Not just 4 stitches apart, you know. Like, where should I start? Where does the tail go? You know, put the tail onto the body. I don't know. I don't know. But this took me a day and a half, and I'm not happy, and I will never, ever make this particular pattern again. I would like to make this character again, but not with this pattern. So, once the pink felt gets here, I'll be able to add the little thing to the top here, which is a skull. And I could use yarn to do the nose, but it might as well match whatever shade of the pink felt ends up being, because you know it's not going to match that. And then I'm done with this. I just will not make this particular pattern again. Thank God it was on sale. Otherwise, I'd be really upset. So, you know, some designers just aren't your cup of tea. And this particular designer is not my cup of tea. I mean, if I was looking for loveys, those would have been great, but I wasn't. I wanted a plushie. So I was very disappointed with that. But for a lovey, they're very nice. This, not so much. Not a good pattern. Just my personal opinion. Somebody else might have it out there and think it's a great pattern. I'm sure there are a lot of people out there that think it's a great pattern, but I did not. If I can't enjoy the process, I don't want to mess with it. I want to be able to enjoy the process. So, sorry for being grumpy with those, but those two just totally frustrated me. I felt like I just wasted my time. I could have, like, in the time that it took me to make this, I probably could have made, I don't know, a dozen Myrtle the Turtles, or half dozen or so Rowdy the Chickens, or more. I could have made 14 chicks and eggs for the time that it took me to make that. You know what I mean? It was just frustrating because I had to redo so much. So for this one, I have a couple of patterns that I think this part of the body, the size, will work nicely for it. But I'm not sure because I've never used those patterns with the chenille brights. So I'm going to test it. Now, hers, because it calls for half double crochet, I don't think I could just stuff it and then attach the legs and arms differently. I'd have to figure out how many more rounds I would need doing it in single crochet to get it the right size for the body. I mean, it's doable. It's just, how much thinking do I want to do? I don't know. Now, the favorite thing that I made this go round, my absolute favorite, these were the easiest. These are pretty cute. They're pretty quick. It's just, you know, you're making a lot of separate parts, which, I mean, chain 4 and slip stitch back 3, that's quick. These were pretty fun to do. I mean, I sat and did these last night while I was watching a movie. So it made the 6 of them. So, and then because you get to change colors, it's kind of like not repeating. Ooh, I'm gonna have to say this go round, this goofy little guy right here is my favorite. Now, the second time I make it, it'll be much easier than the first time because I know what to expect now. This guy, he's so goofy looking. Oh my gosh. Like, who would have ever thought of, I don't know. That's my favorite. And of course, we always love the turtles. And we have a new display chicken. So this, I actually timed myself on this. And I wrote down my start time. And if I had to stop for any reason, I'd write down that time. And then when I started back up, I'd write that down. 2 hours and 20 minutes it took me to make this. I thought it took me much longer the last time because it felt like I was just like forever crocheting on it, going round and round and round. But this yarn was a lot easier to work with, a lot softer than the variegated that I used on the last one, which I think might have been Big Twist Plush. I don't remember. But this, I had to go down in hook size because this yarn was thinner, so it's not as big. But that's all right. It's still life size, and it'll still look good sitting there with all those chicks and the eggs. And now I'm just rambling. So we're going to go, and we're going to edit this video. And the wind is blowing today, so the power's been flicking on and off. So hopefully it stays up long enough for me to get this uploaded. All right, we'll see you Wednesday in the next video.